about to watch one serious thing about Irish and you don't catch up. It's only about 20 minutes long. For MJ Entertainment. This is about the Irish boss. Watch it.
McGovern was seen as a very significant, very senior member, very trusted member of Daniel Kinahan's network.
Sean McGovern's from a very well-respected family.
He could have gone either direction.
I was absolutely appalled to see with the callous nature in which they spoke about giving someone a job to murder someone.
I think that there was a bloodlust at the time.
The US took this very seriously. If you are in any way engaged with organizations that we consider terrorist, then there is going to be very severe repercussions.
The MV Matthew was taken by force in a military operation in Irish waters. The largest drug seizure in the history of the state has been found on it.
The last 10 years have brought lots of bad news for one of Ireland's most feared criminal exports, the Kinahan gang.
Armed Gardaí from local and national units arriving at one of the 18 locations in Dublin.
Already weakened by feuding and a string of police successes across Europe, yesterday, another nail in the coffin, as leading gang figure 40-year-old Sean McGovern was jailed for 24 years for directing the attempted murder of James Mago Gately and the murder of Noel Kerwin, an innocent grandfather killed in the driveway of his home 3 days before Christmas 2016.
While families were at home celebrating and out buying presents for their children, Sean McGovern was planning the murder of my dad, a 62-year-old innocent man.
Sean McGovern's involvement in the Kinahan-Hutch feud placed him firmly in the sights of investigators at home in Ireland.
But how did a man like Sean McGovern end up on the radar of organisations across the world that are dedicated to fighting organised crime, including here in Vienna? He's involved in the transshipment and trade of massive amounts of cocaine and cash and all sorts of other illicit activities globally. Cocaine is a network-based business, right? It's like any other business. It's an international commodity market. The Kinahans are a major international criminal organisation. So that's how he ultimately comes onto the radar of international law enforcement and organisations such as ours.
McGovern seems an unlikely criminal. From a tight-knit working-class family, his father was a social worker, and McGovern himself was a talented soccer player.
So he came from a very stable family and he was living within the Crumlin Drimnagh area. His father was very hard worker with the kind of local community groups and football in particular.
He played at schoolboy and senior level for Crumlin United and Cherry Orchard.
I spoke to one of his former coaches who had him as a young fella when he was playing football and said he was very unassuming, very reserved, very quiet and very well-mannered, and someone who was very well respected by his peer group, his friends and his teammates.
He's somebody who would have come to Garda attention in his early 20s, but only for very minor issues. He'd never any serious convictions.
He could have gone either direction. You know, he could have gone legitimate, but was very close childhood friends with Liam and David Byrne, who obviously came from criminal pedigree. Their father, the late James Jaws Byrne, would have been a passport forger and well known within all the major gangs.
This photo shows an apparently tight-knit group of friends. McGovern, David and Liam Byrne, their father Jemmy Jaws Byrne, and in the middle of them all, Daniel Kinahan.
McGovern became almost family, and he actually lived within what was almost a protected area, that they all had houses almost facing one another. He had bought a house in Kildare Road and he was in and out of the family home, the Byrne family home, all the time. He would have holidayed with them.
McGovern bought his house in Kildare Road in Crumlin for €155,000 and lived there with his long-term partner Anita Freeman and their young family. But this wasn't a typical story of a young couple starting out in family life. The house, according to a Garda investigation, was bought with the proceeds of crime.
Well, Sean McGovern's last record of employment was in 2014, and yet in 2015 he bought that property in Kildare Road, and just the following year he then spent over €250,000 revamping the property.
In 2011, on his child's birth cert, McGovern's occupation is given as car dealer. By 2013, he went into business and registered LS Active Car Sales. The other director was Liam Byrne. Despite its name, there was little sales activity at LS Active Car Sales.
It wasn't a legitimate business. That was essentially a front for money laundering activities on behalf of an organised crime group.
The earnings from organised crime being confiscated by the Criminal Assets Bureau. 31 luxury and high-end cars.
A High Court judgment in a case taken by the CAB against Sean McGovern and others referred to a review of 29 days of CCTV footage that showed little to no evidence of a car sales business being conducted at the premises, and described the business
Crazy when you look at things. This is just this part. We're going to go to the next one.
as a slush fund for McGovern and criminal associates. McGovern first came to public attention in 2016 when gunmen from the Hutch crime group masquerading as Gardaí sought to kill Kinahan gang members at a boxing weigh-in at Dublin's Regency Hotel. Seeking revenge for the Kinahan gang's killing of Gary Hutch, they murdered McGovern's best friend, David Byrne, Liam Byrne's brother, and they shot Sean McGovern in the leg.
During the incident, he didn't seek any help from the guards. He was very aggressive when people went to try and help him, and he suffered a leg wound that day and then was treated in hospital afterwards, so he could easily have been killed. So from that day onwards, from 2016 throughout 2017, his main goal was to seek revenge.
Looking for a stunning logo? Design.com is the world's #1 AI logo generator with a massive library.
In a feud that would take 18 lives, McGovern showed himself to be a determined and ruthless soldier for the Kinahan gang.
I think it came from the fact that he lost his best friend, David Byrne, on that day.
So it was personal, but he's also ambitious, and he sees this as a way of going up the chain of command.
McGovern was deeply involved on the ground, personally carrying out surveillance on potential targets, sometimes in a van with the fake livery of a bogus electrical contractor. One of those targets was Noel Kirwan.
So Noel Kirwan was a man who was originally from the North Inner City, family man, well respected in his community, and certainly no involvement in crime in any form.
A 62-year-old grandfather would have known members of the Hutch family growing up, was very active in the 90s in the Concerned Parents Against Drugs, but in 2016 he was leading a normal life.
Mr. Kirwan, known by the nickname Duck Egg or Duck, was apparently targeted because he was seen with Jerry Hutch at the funeral of Hutch's murdered brother, Eddie.
Well, it seemed a little bit incomprehensible that he was picked out for murder because he was standing beside Jerry the Monk Hutch at his brother's funeral. But that seems to be the only reason. I think that there was a bloodlust at the time.
Primetime has seen a series of messages between Sean McGovern, nicknamed Knife, and another Kinahan gang member discussing a plan to kill Noel Duck Kirwan. The misspelled messages sent 3 months before he was ambushed are chillingly casual about a plan to murder. In one message, McGovern writes, "Exactly who else, mate, that's not kamikaze?" "Not many, they're all kamikaze apart from Duck," the other man replies.
We believe that is a reference to other persons being too difficult to murder. Noel Kirwan, on the other hand, we believe the text messages suggested was a softer target. He wasn't under police surveillance in any form, so they saw it as somebody who they could target without fear of potential arrest.
The men also discussed who they would get to murder Mr. Kirwan, referring to a gunman known as Teeth. McGovern wrote, "I reckon put the teeth on the duck, get his confidence back. I'm sure Teeth be working very soon, mate, but I'll be saying only a defo setup, or someone sitting in a motor on their own. So no running into crowds or chasing up hills or roads," he added. And a half an hour later, another message from McGovern. "Give him the duck for confidence," he wrote. suggesting that Mr. Kirwan be used as a form of assassination practice.
He was like expendable. He was someone who they were willing.
They are going hard at each other. Hard, mate. Like they're coming in. You understand? They're not playing. What is going on?
To let an innocent granddad lose his life just so a Kinahan cartel hitman could get his confidence back.
It was an absolutely appalling thing to read, and it shows the callous nature of this organised crime group.
McGovern had been monitoring Noel Kirwan's car for weeks using a tracker which had been placed on the undercarriage.
A SIM card within the device communicates with the GPS system. Essentially, it